partner to enjoy advanced curriculums. How are you, everybody who is watching this program? I'm very happy to have you today, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you into our fantastic moment of learning the beauty of higher engineering and scientific mathematics. My name is Olenjolai, Moko TAYAI Single. Simply just call me Olenjolai. I'm a mathematician, and I'm also electronics and telecommunication engineer. That is one of my chiefty. I'm doing these programs. I'm a Tanzanian by my nationality, and this is our national flag. So I'd like to welcome all national and international students into this fantastic program for you to enjoy the good news concerning about higher engineering mathematics and higher scientific mathematics. So I'd like to take again this opportunity to welcome you firstly into one of our international institutions, which is called Undergraduate Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in Olenjolai. Simultaneously, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to one of our official YouTube channels that's called the Undergraduate Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in Olenjolai. Okay, so again, we have some departments which I'll talk about it later on, but right now, let me just spend a few minutes to share with you about the vision that we have in this institution. So what vision do we have? Because the word of God says in the book of Proverbs chapter 29 verse 18, where there is no vision, people perish. So if you don't have vision, we are going to perish with this with the entire institution. So we are not ready for that. So that's why that will be declaring often the vision that we, which is in our mind, so that it has to be built into our corporate workers who are our beloved students. So whether you are your undergraduate students, or you are a parent of undergraduate student, or you are guardians of your undergraduate students, or you are just a mathematician, okay, or just you're an engineer, you are a worker in a government worker, politicians, I would like to welcome all of you into this moment, and stay tuned in order for you to review some of the concepts and even to learn something which is new and which I've been preparing for a long time for you in order to take you from one point to another point. So the vision we have in online Undergraduate Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania (OLENJOLAIM) is we have an assignment to teach and train some students who will be ready to take advantage on extracting knowledge, understanding, and wisdom from the classroom instructions in engineering modules or courses and the mathematics courses, and combine it with their knowledge, understanding, and wisdom that we are going to teach them to extract it from the Word of God, that is the Holy Bible. Okay, in order to solve real life problems. So our visions has mainly 4 parts. The first part, understanding and extracting knowledge, understanding, and wisdom on engineering course, fundamental course, and core modules. The second part is extracting knowledge, understanding, and wisdom from the Word of God written in the Holy Bible. And the third part, combining these two understanding, these two knowledges, these two wisdoms. And the fourth part, which actually is the most challenging part, conveying the combinations of these two knowledges, two understandings of wisdoms, to solve a real life problems. So we have so many real life problems, and that's why that we have educational system, and that's why that you find that mankind has been growing up on increasing the number of people who are attending educations, because the problems are always increasing. And there are some problems which need actual that engineering concepts, or mathematics concepts, or mathematics solutions, or solutions in mathematics. So that's why that we say that we are going to challenge you to think outside of the box, and we'll be taking you from one level to another level, and actually to make sure you understand all the piece of information. Okay, so I'll be teaching engineering mathematics, as I said, and I'll like, first of all, before even we go into what I've written on the blackboard, I'll like, if it's your first time, you're welcome. If it's your second time, you're welcome. Your third time, your fourth time. Right now, let's talk a little bit about registration to online Undergraduate Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania. So this is called OPITO, right, in short. It's abbreviations of online and Undergraduate Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania square bracket Olenjolai. So you have to follow the following few steps. The first step, if you don't have an email, create or open new email. So it can be either Yahoo, it can be either Gmail, or it can be what is Yahoo now. Okay, Yahoo now. So it can be Yahoo or Gmail. That's the first step. The second step, after you've created a new email, then we ask you that to sign in. Sign in YouTube by using the email that you created. The third step, quickly, when you are in YouTube, you've already signed in, we ask you to search OPITO. So OPITO means it's abbreviations of Online and Undergraduate Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania square bracket Olenjolai. But don't write these abbreviations because it's not there. The name of our official YouTube channel for undergraduates is called Online Undergrad POLYINSTIT of Tanzania in square bracket OLENJOLAIM. So just copy this name, this phrase. This means that just copy from here to here, then search. You will see a software button, which is account, and inside of this button there is a national flag, right? So there is a national flag of Tanzania. There is a national flag of Tanzania with all its 4 colors. Okay, so click it. Once you click, you're already in the school. So when you're in the school, it asks you to do the following. First of all, click the software button, which has been written as what? Subscribe. Subscribe. So when you click this button and subscribe, then you change the text from subscribe into subscribe. And once that you've been written subscribing, then the icons of the bell will appear. So once you click this icon of the bell, you see 3 options. The first option is what? Is all. Okay? It's all. So we have 3 options: all, personalized, and none. So just choose the options of all. Again, we want you to take the average of our contents. We used to create our contents and collect the related contents of the systematic. We used to arrange our sequence, our lectures systematically from the first lecture, which is called lecture 0, up to the maybe, for example, in gamma and beta, let's say there are 15, so up to lecture 15. So we used to collect them in and put them into one playlist. So for instance, we have a playlist of advanced calculus, okay, and also we have a playlist of gamma and beta function. So the playlist of gamma and beta functions contains all the lectures of beta and gamma function. We have another playlist of Fourier integrals and the transform. We have another playlist of vector calculus and of partial differential equation. Why do we do that? Because we want to collect all the related lectures so that to simplify our students to go through every lecture consecutively or systematically. So we ask you that to click, because here you see a button which is written as home, videos, playlisting, and then channel, and then sort community and about. So just to click the playlist. So the next step is to click the playlist. So in case that you want to load the playlist of beta and gamma, this is abbreviation function. So you can find the playlist of beta and gamma function where you find all the lectures about beta and gamma functions. Again, we know that you're going to enjoy our contents that we are creating for undergraduate students. And remember that higher engineering mathematics and higher scientific mathematics is universal. So whether you are Asian undergraduate students, or your American undergraduate students, or European undergraduate students, or African undergraduate students, or maybe European undergraduate students, you can benefit on these contents. However, that will be focused on the curriculums and the syllabus of TCU, or which has been accredited by TCU and NACTE, which will mean that will be focused on curriculum syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania. But the contents will be the same, like the one that being covered at MIT, being covered at University of California, being covered at maybe at Oxford University. So the contents are closely similar, because those university they used to teach the year contents online. I used to check what are they covering and what are we covering. Okay, so you can click against. Mean that we have an option to click like, like our videos, and also you have the chance to click share. Okay, so to share the link to all your friends, all your friends. So you can share with them through Facebook, through WhatsApp, okay, through WhatsApp, and then through email, through Telegram, okay, through Telegram, through Instagram, through Twitter, through LinkedIn, etc., etc., etc. So you can share the link of this video to other students. So right now, let us go into today's session. We are in departments of higher engineering and scientific mathematics. The module or the course of the day is called advanced calculus. This contains in many institutions, colleges, or universities in Tanzania. It's being taught in first year or second year of undergraduate studies in engineering or science courses. For example, because we focus on the curriculums of Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology, which is DIT, this course is taught in first year, second semester of first year, NTA level 7, right? And we are in chapter 1 that's called gamma and beta functions. And the second lecture, which is called improper intervals. So ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much of your time, let us do the quick review of lecture 1. So in lecture 1, if you do remember what we have covered, first of all, we began with big picture. Big picture of what? Big picture of Tanzania educational authorities. Okay? That we say that in Tanzania educational authorities, we have 3. Then we say we have VETA, okay, Vocational Education and Training Authority. Also, we have what? We have the TCU, Tanzania Commission for Universities, and then we have what? We have NATO, right? We have NATO, National Council for Technical Education. And examples of universities which are under this is University of Dar es Salaam, UDOM. Then we have what? So we have Iringa University, we have Susa, Zanzibar University, okay? State University of Zanzibar, see? And then we have also what? We have Mohas, University of Health and Allied Science. So we have again what? So as we say that we have United African University, United African University of Tanzania, okay, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So we have so many universities. So under NACTE, we say we have Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology, we have also Arusha Technical College, we have Beng University of Science and Technology, we have Karume Institute of Science and Technology, we have Al-Maktoum Engineering and Technology College, etc., etc., etc. So advanced calculus, we get also one of the modules that offered at the Sir&Eng Institute of Technology. However, that all of these other institutions, they offer the same contents, but they just use a different name on use a different name on the naming the institution. Okay. So again, another thing that when we have been dealing with DIT, then we say at DIT, students there, in a year they have to learn mathematics or higher engineering mathematics in 2 semesters. So for the first semester, there's a module called calculus. For the second semester, it's called the advanced calculus. And for the first semester of the second year, because remember this is first year and this is the second year, right? So for the second year, we have a differential equation and complex variable. Then for the second semester, second year, there's probability and statistics. So today we have to deal with improper intervals. So improper intervals. So before we get into details of improper intervals, I would like just to remind you about what? About the contents. Contents or subtopics of what? Of gamma, say gamma, and the beta function. Gamma and beta function. Gamma and beta function. Okay. So we say that. So for the contents, the first concept that we have to teach you is about proper and the improper interval. Proper and the improper interval. Proper and improper intervals. The second concept will be teaching you the definition of what of gamma. We'll be focusing on gamma function first. Gamma function, FCT, its function. Then the second concept will teach about properties. Properties of what? Properties of gamma function. Properties of gamma function. Then the first concept after teaching properties of gamma function, then we are going to teach about applications of properties of gamma function. Applications of properties. Applications of properties of what? Of gamma function. Gamma function. Applications of properties of gamma function. Then the next one is gamma tables. I'll teach you about gamma tables. Gamma tables. Okay, gamma tables. Then this is definition of what? Definitions of gamma function. Then after teaching gamma tables, the next concept you are going to teach about solving improper intervals. Solving improper gamma intervals. So solving improper gamma intervals. Okay. Then solving improper gamma intervals. So until we reach the 6 subtopics, we'll be done with gamma function. Right? So the next step will be focusing on beta function. Right? So we say that the first concept is we teach about Cartesian formula of beta function. Beta function, very important formula. A concept we teach about polar. So when you say polar or trigonometrical, okay? Trigonometrical formula of what? Of beta function. We teach about that. And number 9, we teach about some few properties of what? Of beta function. Simply there is only one property. Properties of what? So property 1 to 2. If I'm not mistaken. Properties of what? Of beta function. Then number 10, we'll be teaching you relationship between what? Between gamma and the beta function. Gamma and beta function. Relationship between gamma and the beta function. Then the 11th concept after teaching relationship between gamma and beta function, I'm going to teach you about I'm going to teach you about solving now improper gamma intervals. Solving improper intervals. Solving gamma improper intervals by using relationship. There's a relationship between gamma and beta beta function. Then the last subtopic will teach you about problem solving. Problem solving. Problem solving. So please copy all of these steps for you to be registered in orbital. Okay, in orbital. So the good thing that in most of the physical institutions or colleges, you have to register yourself every semester. The good thing that institutions, we just need you to register yourself only once, right? Only once in a year. So only once. So we call it one last time registration. Okay. So after presenting, so all of this, the good thing is, or the good news, I will be teaching you and I'll be helping you on learning all of these 12 subtopics or contents of gamma and beta function. So you won't be alone. And we're expecting to solve more than 30 examples. According to my research, especially at the Islam Institute of Technology and even in some other institutions, they used to teach this topic within a short time, maybe 2 sessions or 3 lectures, or 4 lectures maximally. Then the classroom lecturer will have already covered about this stuff, about this topic. But the issue is not the concept. So even myself, I can cover all the concepts, all the essential concepts within just 5 lectures. But now, where are we going to face the challenge? We'll not be able to solve problems. So you will find that we'll be having more than 10 lectures of gamma and beta function, and the reason is we'll be solving also questions or problems. As usual, that in some of the institutions they used to have lectures and they used to have tutorial, right? So for this program, in online undergraduate polytechnic Institute of Tanzania square bracket OLENJOLAIM, we used to combine lectures and the tutorial problem solving, right? Tutorial problem solving. So that's what you have to expect. So we'll be giving you everything that you need. And as we mentioned that in our previous session, if you do remember, we mentioned about reference books. Okay? We mentioned about engineering mathematics books that you need for you to master advanced calculus. We are going to pass through those reference books. We'll be taking questions from the exercise of those reference books. We'll be taking questions also from the past papers. It means that from tutorial question sheet, right? From past papers. So we'll be doing great things for you. So we'll be giving you intensive contents for you to go further as well as you can. So let us focus on lecture 2, that is all about the improper intervals. So let me start with this unique concept, big picture of intervals. Big picture of intervals. So this is big picture of intervals in my mind. In Olenjolai's mind. Okay, so what the big picture? So here we have the subject of mathematics. Alright, so we have a subject of mathematics. If we go further, we went to O-level education. We met with basic mathematics and also others that used to start additional math. Yes. Then, eight of these, after graduating this, there are 3 routes. Right? So there are 3 routes as we discussed. First route, you can go for pure mathematics. Or you can take a route for 40, basic applied mathematics. Or you can take a route of basically engineering and scientific mathematics. So here you can have this view, here you can have that. They are inactive. So inactive. We have also, let's say, reactive. Okay, we have reactive. And then basically, the thing that I've lost the focus. Lost the focus. It's not the issue of the college. The issue is here I can have calculus. Calculus. Okay? So here we have calculus. And calculus can be divided into 3 branches. So this is differentiation. And this is integral. And here we have differential equation. So under this perspective of integration, for instance, we are going to have two types of integrals. The first one we call the proper or finite integral. And the second one, we have what? Improper. Or in other words, we call it infinite intervals. We are looking where do you get this gamma and beta function. So those are the interval functions, right? So this is the pentagon. That's what you're reducing, the big picture of beta and gamma function. Okay, so improper or infinite intervals. Infinite intervals. So under these infinite intervals, again we have two branches. Okay, we have two branches. The first branch is what? Is gamma. Gamma function, which we'll discuss. And then here we have beta function. So it means gamma and beta functions both are not improper intervals, but we'll discuss it later. So that's why that in this second lecture, we'll be dealing with improper intervals. So under improper intervals, once we understand improper intervals, we reduce beta and gamma function. Okay? So let us focus on what? Let us focus on the types of what the proper and improper intervals. So proper intervals Many teachers, I know they used to start on teaching gamma function directly, but they don't tell you where the gamma functions come from. It's better for you to have the big picture, right? So say that this is a proper OT interval. Proper interval. So you have the question. What is proper interval? What is proper interval? Okay? Proper intervals is the interval. So simply this is the interval which is finite, in the bounded, which is finite and bounded by the range of integration. Bounded by the range of integration. So it's an integral which is finite and bounded by the range of what? Of integration. By the range of integration. And this range of integration we define mathematics A, B. The general form of proper integral is this integral from A to B f of x dash dx. That's the general form. So this is integral. We got the integral. This is derivative or integrate f of x dash with respect to x. It's a single variable derivative. I say it's single variable integral. So once we integrate and we get the value or the response of this integral, which will be the function f of x, so then we have the limits a to b. A is called the mathematics lower limit, and b is called the upper limit. Therefore, what we are expecting to have in this definite integral or proper integral, we are expecting to have exactly value. So we substitute b in x, we have f of b minus what? Substitute a in x, then we have this one. So f of b minus f of n. So that's the general form of what? General form of proper integral. So the proper integral generates the Riemann So generate the Riemann integrals. Generate the Riemann integral. The Riemann integral, which are continuous or across the interval. Which are continuous when each interval close the interval. So the proper integral generates the Riemann integral, which are continuous or close the interval. So So the proper integral generates the Riemann integral, which are continuous on closed intervals. So that one's equal to Riemann integral. So Riemann integral is the finite intervals. So ladies and gentlemen, now let us discuss about improper intervals. Improper intervals. Improper intervals. So we have a fundamental question. What is improper interval? What is improper interval? So we say that in improper interval is the integral which is infinite, and if not bounded at one or more points. One or more points. So a proper integral is the integral which is infinite and not bounded at one or more points. At one or more points. So improper integral is the integral which is infinite and not bounded at one or more points. So what does it mean? So it's infinite. So when it's infinite, it's not, so we say that it is infinite, it's not finite. That's the meaning of infinite. So we say it's infinite means it goes to infinity. That's the concept that we are focusing on. Okay? So when one or more of these restrictions is laxly dented, the integral is improper. So the general form of improper integral is this. It can be integral from a to infinity, f of x dash dx, or it can be integral from negative infinity to b, f of x dash dx, or it can be integral from negative infinity, then f of x dash dx. So those are the possible, these are the general form of what? Of improper intervals. Okay? That's the general form of improper intervals. So it can be infinite, especially at the upper limit, or it can be infinite at the lower limit, or it can be infinite at both lower and upper limit. So it means that. So it means that. So it said the limits of improper integral. The limits of improper integral limits of improper integral may be both or one, can be finite, early, infinite, or both are infinite. So the limits of improper integral may be finite, early, infinite. So one is finite, the other one is infinite, or maybe both are what are infinite. For example, the upper limit is infinite here, while this is finite. Here the lower limit is finite, while the upper limit is infinite. It's finite. Then here the lower limit is infinite, the upper limit is infinite. So you have those three possibilities, and those are the one that gives us what the infinity or the improper integral. So then, ladies and gentlemen, let me teach you types of what? Of improper integral. Because from these types of improper integral will deduce our interesting improper integrals, which is gamma function and beta function. So types of improper integrals. Types of improper integrals. So in mathematics, there are three kinds. Three kinds of what? Of improper integral. Three kinds of improper integrals. There are three kinds of improper integrals. We have first kind, so integrals correspond to one. So the general form of first kind improper integral is given as what? As integral from a to infinity. Then here we have what? We have f of x dx, and this is equal to limit as x approaches to what? As x approaches to infinity. As x approaches to infinity, then you have integral from a to x, then you have f of x dx. So this integral from a to infinity, f of x dx, this is equal to limit as x approaches to infinity. Integral from a to x, f of t or f of x dx. So if f of x is integrable, So there we have what we said, the general form of first kind improper integral is given as integral from what? From a to infinity of f of x dash dx, which is equal to the limit as x approaches to infinity. Then we integrate from a to x the integrand, which is f of x dash, with respect to x. With respect to x. So this is very important. So it means that in other words also, with a it is, let's remember that we said that if you are integrating from a to infinity, f of x dash dx, then we say that this is limit as x approaches to infinity, integral from a to x, f of x dash dx. F x dash dx. That is. So in this concept, what do we say? We say that the range, so that a should be less than or equal to x, less than or equal to infinity. So x should be greater than a, and x should be less than infinity. So the first kind, improper integral, gives us what? The gamma function. Gives us what? Gamma function. So the first kind improper integral gives us the gamma function. And so you'll find that later on, so you'll find that the integral for gamma function will be integral from 0 to infinity. Then x e power negative x, or actual addition will be the f of x dash dx. Okay? So this is gamma integral. Gamma function. This gamma function, so we got the improper integral. Again, we have the second type. The second type of improper integral. So second type or second kind. Second kind of improper integral. Second kind of improper integral. So the general form of second kind the general form of second kind of 40 of improper integral is integral from 0 to 1 f of x dx. This is equal to limit as x approaches to a. X approaches to a, then integrate from a to to 1. Then you have what? You have f of x dx. So the general form of second kind of improper integral is integral from 0 to 1 f of x dash dx is equal to limit x approaches to a, integral from 0 to 1 f of x, but this is f of x what? F of x dash dx. So you see that it means that from 0 to 1, and so it means that it's actually the kind of a small range, because 0 and 1 are consecutive integers. But that's very interesting improper integral, and it has so many applications in engineering, different programs or different fields of engineering. So that's why that we say the integral from 0 to 1 of f of x dash dx is equal to the limit as x approaches to a, then integral from a to 1 of f of x dash dx. Okay? So wonderful. That's about what the second kind. So we say that the second kind improper integral. Second kind improper integral gives us what? Gives us a better function. Gives us the better function. So the general form of beta function the general form of beta function is this. So it's from 0 to 1 f of x dash dx. So that's the general form of what? Of beta function. General form of beta function. General form of beta function. Put that one. So we'll be discussing later when we discuss beta function itself. Okay? Because we have to just focus. I don't want to go into too much detail on this improper integral because I know that I can teach you some of the stuff which are not relevant for you. Third kind of improper integral. Third kind of improper integral. Third kind of improper integral. So it says that it's a definite integral in which one or both limits of integrations are infinite. So it is what? So you say that it is there. It is infinite. It is infinite integral in which one or both limits in which one or both limits of integration are infinite. It is infinite integral in which one or both limits of integration, are what? Are infinite. And the integrals becomes infinite at one or more points within or at the end points of intervals of integration. So simply that's what you have to know as undergraduate students, especially at the engineer, because I'm not teaching higher pure mathematics, I'm teaching higher engineering mathematics. So I have to be careful and I have to follow the syllabus and curriculum of undergraduate studies. So I have to make sure that I don't overdose you. I have to teach you important concepts. So what the general form? So the general form, define the general form of 30 kind, form of the 30 kind improper integral proper integral is given as what? It's integral from what? This is integral from negative infinity, positive infinity, f of xc dash dx. So when one limit is infinite and the other one is not, then we have something like this. Okay? Then this is integral from what? From negative infinity to b f of x dash dx. Okay? So it means that when both limits are infinite of what? Of f of x dash dx, this is equal to what? Okay, integral from negative infinity to infinity, then we have f of x dash, then swati dx, now to what, for example, to a, so from negative infinity to a, then plus integral from a to positive infinity, then you have f of x dash dx. So this is very important reduction. Okay, so it's infinite integral from negative infinity to infinity, and here this is going negative infinity to a, and from a to infinite. Okay, wonderful. So basically, this is what you have to think about. So the simple homework 2, because I'm about to end this session, is the question: what is, and I'll answer in the next session, what is gamma function? We have seen that both gamma and beta function are improper integrals. But what is gamma function basically? And what is the general formula? So give us the definitions of what is gamma function, and then also give us the general formula. So this is the end of lecture 2. I thank God who have been with me in the preparations of this lecture. And I thank you also who have joined me from the beginning to the end of this session of this lecture 2. And real thank God who have given me the gift of teaching, and even just to take you from one point to another point. I really appreciate about your concentration and even participations. In case you have any question, you're going to stay to ask in the comment section. So I'll try my level best to answer your questions, right? So that's what I have to make sure that I share with you. And I'd like to invite you to join me in the lecture 3 of which will teach about gamma function, the general introductions of gamma function, or the introductions of gamma function, or gamma function and its properties, right? So that's the concept that we are going to teach you in the next lecture, which is lecture 3. Make sure that you don't miss it. Invite your friends so that you can join together in order to enjoy the beauty of what the high engineering mathematics and higher scientific mathematics. I really appreciate about your participation on this program, and I ask you also, please subscribe onto our YouTube channel in order for you to get notification, because right now we have a vision to record more than 500 videos that will take you from one level of understanding to the higher level of understanding. So that's why that we are really insisting you to make sure to subscribe and you share these contents with other students so that we can reach millions and millions of undergraduate students in this process or this journey of teaching and learning. So please do the homework, submit in the comment section, keep enjoying the beautiful high engineering mathematics and high scientific mathematics, and then think differently, keep preparing to solve real life problems. And this is Sir Olenjolai that's real enjoying this moment and opportunity to teach you. I'm Olenjolai from Tanzania. Keep enjoying the beauty of high engineering mathematics and scientific mathematics for the rest of your life.